Hi guys, I'm Jahangeer Asif, your today's host, founder of Grow Junction. Today we have with us Vijaya Belavadi ma'am, co-founder of Hype Luxury, a startup which help you book luxury cars and yacht anywhere around the world. And it's recently got funded from Razorpay founder Harshil Mathur and Shashank Kumar. Let's hear about her journey from Vijaya ma'am herself. Hi Vijaya ma'am, how are you? Welcome to podcast with Grow Junction.
Hi, Jahangeer. I'm good, thank you. How about you?
I'm fine, ma'am. So, ma'am, I wanted to introduce you a brief about you and tell about something about your startup.
As you already know, I'm a co-founder of a Hype Luxury car rental company, so which we started in 2017 along with my brother Vijaya Belavadi. So we both started this 5 years back. This is mainly into renting luxury cars and yachts and private jets. So we started with luxury cars, but now we provide services for private jets and yachts as well. So that's the background about Hype. And like I was working in other IT companies as well before that, and so as with my brother. But we found some opportunity that there is a service needed in the luxury mobility industry where people were not aware of that they can hire into luxury cars on rent. So that made us to start this business, and this is a little bit of story behind that.
So, was any personal story like you generally notice that there is a gap in the market, or was there any personal story behind starting the whole thing?
Yeah, it was an interesting story. It's already there in all the the publishers that are done. Yeah. So it's actually the incident where we wanted to hire a Rolls Royce for our wedding anniversary, for our parents' wedding anniversary, for 5 years back. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So my brother used to live in Switzerland, and he was having his own startup over there. He's a serial entrepreneur, so he was running his own startup there in that segment. So when he used to come to India once in a year, or 2 times or 3 times in a year. So one of the occasion where we wanted to take our parents to one of the hotel in Bangalore, we wanted to take them in a Rolls Royce so that just to make that moment memorable and make them feel happy. But we struggled a lot to hire that, and we asked for some model and we got some other thing. It was a great disappointment. It was like a compromising on what we wanted that day, but somehow we managed it. But being settled in outside countries those time, my brother used to drive almost all luxury cars, almost all sports cars over there because it's very easy in Western countries. But
Yes.
yeah, he saw that there is a lot of opportunity, but there is no services that has been provided by the local vendors. So that made him to pick up that segment as his next startup. So we were living together in Bangalore. So it made me also to join him to start this business.
So you started in Bangalore itself, or you started in somewhere else?
No, in Bangalore. I live in Bangalore.
So, ma'am, as you said that you have worked in Accenture and DXC, corporate companies, and can you tell me about something like how your experience, what in working corporate helped you in running the startup? Like many people, if I tell you myself, I did my MBA with the ambition that I want to start something of my own, but I also wanted to have a corporate experience so that I will, when I start something on my own, it will be helpful. So can you show some light on that, how was working in the corporate helped you in running the startups that you have currently?
Yeah, honestly speaking, it helped us a lot. Both of us, having a career in IT sectors for almost more than 2 decades. And, it helped us a lot. There are a lot of good things to learn from corporate jobs. First of all is like, following the policies and procedure. It's more of process driven over there rather than people driven. So in startup, you will, when you think about doing your own business, you will have a kind of you will become a rebel, and you will have that mindset that I'm not going to follow this conventional way of doing things, and I'll have my own decision making and all those stuff. But when you have a background of working in a corporate jobs, and you will have that culture of following some standard process and procedures, and some internal policy controls, and many things for that matter, standardization and a discipline. There are a lot of things that you will learn when you are in IT jobs. So that helped us, both of us, to bring those qualities into startup environment. Though we don't want to make it as a IT sector again, we want to have some flexibility, but that helps us to drive this business in a very organized way. That's an
So what was the initial hurdle like? Starting something in the start, there's a lot of chaos, like nothing in the right position. You need to build the system from scratch. When you're working in corporate, the system has been already been built, and you just have to follow it and execute it.
Yes.
So when you're building something of your own, you have to be very, very patient also at the times, and things can become quite poetic also. So can you share something about that?
Yeah, it's a lot of challenges when you want to do your own business, because you have to build from scratch. Nothing will be readily available, nor you can just outsource it from the day one. Like everything, you cannot outsource it also. You have to start from scratch, build everything on your own, and bring it to one stage, and then you can get all those external supports. We did face a lot of challenges, starting from building our own team, starting from creating our own brand, because we were not having any brand position properly in the initial days. We were nobody at that time when we started. So all these things took a lot of time, and even when you think of doing something extraordinary beyond from your normal comfort zone, obviously there will be a lot of hurdles, and people will say that no, it's not going to work, and how do you manage all these things, especially when it comes to hiring a luxury cars and all. Nobody will believe that, because there is no mindset that people can afford luxury cars on a day-to-day basis. It is restricted to one certain category of people.
Yes. Very, very small niche.
Very, very, very small. And people think that, okay, Mercedes, it's not for us. It's only for celebrities. BMW, no, not for us. Maybe a cricketers, a politicians, something like that. Because they were not aware of it. Like they can also, make their dream come true by renting. If not buying a 1.5 crore or a 2 crore car, but at least they can enjoy the ride and have that habit of getting adjusted to the luxury segment.
Yeah, it's similar to like going to 5-star hotels.
Yes. First 1 or 2 times you will feel like, why do I pay 300, 400 rupees for a 20 rupees coffee or a tea? But when you start going you will get that habit of that ambience. It's not the question of 20 rupees tea that you will pay 400 rupees in 5-star, but it's the question of service, or it's the question of the ambience or the feeling of the status and everything. Then you will get used to it, and you will automatically change from that to that luxury segment. Definitely there were a lot of such challenges.
So my next question is related to the luxury cars, because on the surface, if I hear you are running a luxury cars and yacht business, so I see that it's a very capital intensive business. A lot of capital required. Suppose someone want to start something of that sort, it will require a lot of money. So how you tackle that challenge?
Completely wrong. What I say, because I keep hearing that when people say I want to do my startup, but I don't have funding. First of all, they think about the money, but they don't think about what product you want to bring, what is the problem that you are going to solve, how it is going to help. No. So in our case, you're thinking like we have all the cars and private yachts and jets, which is wrong. We don't own any assets, zero assets. We are an aggregator, so we provide service from vendor to customer. We connect vendors to customer. It's like we are a platform where all different kinds of luxury vehicles will be available on our platform. People can choose on their own, instead of calling them a conventional travel agent and ask them whether it is there or not, and to and fro interactions between them, language barriers, and so many other things. So in order to avoid all those things, we brought all those in one stop. called hype. So it's not like an asset based.
So there are suppliers who own those luxury cars and who are like agencies, so are renting them, and you have created this platform where buyers or where someone who actually want to ride this luxury car, they can like go and just rent it out. Can you
Yeah.
explain a bit about the process, like from user's perspective? Suppose I'm in Bangalore and I got to know that my friend is having wedding, and I suggested him that he can take a luxury cars and for that. So how he should go about that? Like
Yeah, you just
the
have to.
whole user journey. Can you explain?
Yeah. It is like, either you can go to the a website and do it. Otherwise, we prefer, customers need to download the app, and you can just log in with your normal credentials, and so that your profile will get created once you log in with your credentials and put your phone number and email ID, everything, which will help us to do the further interactions, like booking done and contacting driver, contacting you, and other stuff. Without profiling the customer, we don't provide any cars, because it's all luxury cars, and we cannot give it to anybody without any background verification. So if you book, if you register through your email ID and mobile number, you will get into the hype website, where you can select whichever location you want to hire a car, whether it is a chauffeur driven or it is a self drive. There are a lot of options, or it's just an airport transfer, or it's, as you said, it's a wedding celebration that you want to hire it for more than 8 hours or more than a day or something. All options are available. So you can go ahead and see what all cars are available, and what packages, what are the terms and conditions. Everything will be available on the website. So you can directly go there and click on that particular car, and you can just enter all the required details, minimum basic requirement over there, and you can make the payment directly. It's a like a prepaid one. It's not that you hire a car, finish your journey, and then you pay it. It's like a upfront, you have to make the payment.
Is
So
there any security payment also need to be paid initially?
if it is a chauffeur driven, that is, you have taken along with the driver, there is no security deposit. Driver will be there along with the car. But if it's a self drive, it's a deposit based. So that that's a safety deposit, will nominal safety deposit will be there till you return the car. At least if something goes wrong, if you hit or there is some scratch on the vehicle, so that it's a hassle free deductions on that. Of course, we do have insurance for everything, but on top of it, if something goes wrong, that the safety deposit will cover all those things.
So suppose, for example, as I took the example of my friend in Bangalore, so he booked the car. So today he booked the car. So how much time it will take from profiling, then actually getting the car? So he booked for suppose today is 27. He booked. He want to go somewhere on for 5th of March. So
Yeah. So, see, you can book 4 hours before the journey also. You can book the car, the minimum time duration, because it takes time to allocate cars and check the availability, and arrange for all those cleaning or any other pre-work that needs to be done, everything. So minimum is 4 hours before your planned journey. Otherwise, advance also you can book it. When you click on the car and location and how many days and how many miles that you want, if you select it and if you make the payment, immediately you will get a payment confirmation on your registered email ID, and also an SMS to your mobile number. So just 4 hours, maybe 2 hours before your journey, you will get all the details of, at what time the car will be available, and who is the driver, what is his phone number. Every detail will be sent to your registered mobile number. If it is a chauffeur driven, or of course, driver will bring you the car to the selected location. Or if it's a self drive, our driver will drop the car just half an hour before your journey, and he will hand over the key, and he will hand over all the documents related to the vehicle, and he will make the customer do the audit of everything, like if is there any existing scratches on the car, which generally will not be there, and cleanliness and the required water bottles, tissues, so whatever is needed for the customer for that journey, basic at least requirements. We will ensure that customer checks everything, and he will take a signature on the meter and everything, and even if required, photographs as well, because while handing it over, what is the status of the car, when they return, what is the status of the car, that our operations team will tally. If there are any extra scratches or something, that needs to be deducted from the deposit. So from there, they will hand over the car to the customer, and customer will have the journey, and in case of any technical issues on the road, there are 24/7 helpline provided, so they can call that number and take help. It is like, if there is anything that needs to be fixed, they will do that on the road support. Or if anything that, worst case, if the vehicle needs to be exchanged, like, it cannot be done in a 1 hour or so, so that our team will, provide the alternate vehicle for that location, and they
So it seemed like you have very streamlined the whole process. I mean, I guess the initially it would be very, I mean, even for people if they are not aware, they have to go through a lot of hassle to book luxury cars. But you use the technology, you build something system around it and mitigated the whole process and made it more streamlined and make it more convenient and comfortable for the customer to rent luxury cars. I wanted to know, like, I mean, right now you have built a certain number of like customer base audience, and there is a certain awareness about the brand. But initially, how did you test the market? Like, how did you find that product market fit? Especially country like in our country in India, the luxury segment is very small, and how you acquire, like, suppose 100 customers initially, and what was the hardest thing and hurdles in the start?
Yeah, like as I said, the story behind Hype, like we ourselves experienced that how difficult it would be to hire a luxury car in India from the local travel agencies. Nobody was giving the luxury car for self-drive in India until Hype was born. So it's only self-drive. They are okay to send their drivers along with Mercedes, BMW, or Audi, but they never thought of giving such as expensive vehicles to the customer for a self-drive. So it's only that when we came into picture, we had to convince them. We also started initially with only the shopper driven. So we had to give them that confidence, like, okay, through Hype, the customers are coming, then it is safe. So they slowly they got confidence in us and our services and all. So they started giving it to the self-drive segment as well. So that's how the self-drive concept comes in, and we experienced that. So there is a market. So when we started using it, and it's like, the word of mouth, our friends and family circle, they used to say, oh, you are traveling in Rolls Royce, that means you can rent it. So slowly it got into our friend circle. And we also had initial days, we had a marketing strategy of Google ads and other stuffs. And, that made us to bring business in the initial days. But most of the time it is like, through one customer to another customer, most of the time in the initial days.
Word of mouth.
Yeah, word of mouth.
So basically, in the start, you build a application and website and connected with the suppliers, and through the word of mouth and through other marketing means, people get to know about your startup and what you're doing.
Yeah, and also and then the next segment was like a digital marketing, obviously. So it's on the internet platform. There are a lot of other platforms which helped us to place ourselves in the market. And also we used to travel a lot to different states, because when we saw that opportunity in our state, our own city, so definitely there will be a lot of other opportunities in other states also, right?
Sure,
so we traveled a lot, and we saw that vendors are having a lot of luxury cars, but they are lying idle in their garages. They want to sell it, they want to give it to the service, but they are afraid of giving it. That's where we grabbed that opportunity. We met all of those vendors and we introduced ourselves, and we told them there is a huge market for this. And it's a lot of challenges, of course, to convince them, because coming from one region to another region, giving them that confidence about how we will bring business for their cars, it was difficult. That's how when we traveled all over India, we got all those opportunity, and we got all those support from all the vendors from all the regions. And that's how it got spread across India, all 23 cities now.
So in the start, that's it. In the start, you bootstrapped it, or you raised the funding?
Yes,
went from
completely bootstrap. Yeah.
Bootstrap. So how many years till you thought of going for funding?
It was almost 3 years. And the interesting part is most of our customers are our investors. Like after 3 years, so they only felt like it is really a good field. So far, whoever we have as an investor, they are all our customers. And we have
And
more than 40% of repeat customers.
And that's the advantage because the target audience you are catering to a luxury segment, and people, most of the investors who will be who will be taking the services came
Yeah,
from that particular segment.
yeah,
So
yeah,
it
that's
was
correct.
matching it. So I mean, can you let me know about how? Suppose someone who is a founder who started. I mean, many founders start with a bootstrap. I myself have started as a bootstrap. So when this thought of funding, how should they go about it? Like. A seed funding or a pre-series round or something? How should they approach investors or something?
Yeah, actually, as I said, like we never thought of we'll go outside to the VCs or some other source for the funding.
Hmm.
We were happily managing with our own, whatever revenue or whatever funding we had by ourselves. But obviously, when you want to globally expand yourself and expand
Hmm.
your horizon and different into the different luxury segments,
Hmm.
definitely you will need, more money to run the business, to expand your team, to go global and everything. And that time, fortunately, our own customers who are our friends also, they extended their support saying that we want to invest in your company. That was our first investment. So they started investing slowly in small numbers, and recently also we got funded. That is also, that's one more thing I want to say. He is also one of our customer. Like we have not taken any money from outsiders. It's all our customers only who have been our investors so far. Yeah, of course,
That's
an
quite
extra.
leveraging. That's quite leveraging. I was just checking that. I found that recently Razorpay founder Shashank and Harshil have
Yes,
invested
yes,
in your startup Hype, and that
yeah,
was quite integrating. And I also get to know that Shashank himself is a fan of luxury cars.
yes.
So
That made them, because we also take their service as our payment gateway, and they are
hmm,
a very good friend of, my brother Raghav Belavadi.
hmm.
So it's like the more of a trust and the relation that we have in our customer, apart from our friends and families as well.
So I saw. I mean, you just said that you wanted to scale things up. So that is why you thought that the startup needs funding. So what was the first thing, scaling geographically or scaling in product lines, or is there
Product line.
any other in future you thinking of broadening the whole niche?
Yeah, it's all three. So as I said, we started with the chauffeur driven, then we expanded for self drive,
Hmm.
and sports car, included sports car, all sports car into our segment in all the cities wherever available. And then we expanded for private jets and yachts, and then expanded to Dubai, UK. And in 2020 to 23 we are having plans to extend for US market as well. That's the one line of expansion on the same business line. But apart from that, we also have um, in the pipeline, like extending our services to all luxury segments, like luxury resorts or luxury yacht, watches, bags, anything related to luxury. We do have that plan.
So
And the most,
vision is basically creating a luxury, whole complete luxury lifestyle for people.
yes, exactly. And on top of everything, it's like apart from the land, water, air, it's the space that is there. If you can see our website, you will see laws of hype, LAWS, which means land, air, water, and space. So recently we got tied up with the Virgin Atlantic. Like my brother himself is flying through Virgin Atlantic to space. Maybe in 2023 he got shortlisted for that.
So
So we want to bring that space travel as well to the common man. So
that
that's
that
our
that
vision. Yeah,
that's very good. That's very ambitious. I was looking at them. There's some development happening in that forte also, a kind of luxury market is being created for people who want to experience the space.
correct.
Uh,
Correct. He got shortlisted last year only, but there is a lot of procedure for that, to go through the simulation training and the health checkups and so many other things, which is under process now. Probably 2023 he'll get the time to fly to space through Virgin.
that's it. Now I wanted to know some advice on the team management, because as I said earlier, in corporate policies are there, structure is there, but as a founder, initially you have to build everything. In the team, you have to build a hierarchy level, or you need to decide that which function you need to do what. So how you tackle those challenges, something on that particular side.
Yeah, building team is always a challenge in startup because you believe in that business, but not everybody. So it's always, that risk you will carry with you when you decide to start your own business. And especially when you want to bring the technical skills to your team, it's really, challenge in convincing them to adopt themselves to work in startups. So we did face all those challenges, but some people these days, youngsters are leaning towards the startup culture, and they believe in the business. If they believe in the business and believe in the founders and the vision and everything, definitely they will support you. We have a fantastic team. Fortunately, from the day one when we started very small team, like we both and another two and maybe another four, and now by the grace of God we are almost 30, and we also expanding shortly this year, maybe 50 or more than that. We don't want to build thousands of employees kind of company, but as minimum as possible. So that's very challenging, and it's not like we do a micromanagement. It's totally flexible environment, but of course with all under process driven and policies and procedures which we have adopted from, as I said, from the IT background, but not as in strict kind of thing. It's all like a family.
So how like you attract people? You said that the team need to be motivated for the vision of the company. So how you like attracted the people to join the team? Like apart from a vision, there was some monetary benefit, or like right now the startups give a lot of ESOPs, RSU, something like this. So
yes.
Yeah, so that
First of all, our industry itself is very attractive so to say, because when people look into the job profile that we roll out, they see the Lamborghini, they see the Ferrari, Rolls Royce, and private jets and yachts. First thing that comes to my mind is their mind is like, wow, this is really cool. Maybe that will not last for a longer time. For many people, they will not find it so comfortable working in a fast track mode, because startup is not like you can do your work within 3 months or a 6 months kind of project like how you do in IT sector.
Yes. I have actually, I can relate to it.
Yeah, so you can relate it very well. So it's always that you have to work on your toes, like immediately. You have to fast track your work 10 times more than how you do regular things. The first just attraction, if that person retains in himself and gets adopted to this, he will stay for a longer time. We have seen many people joins and they will leave after 3 months or 6 months saying that no, I cannot do like this. I have my own area, comfort zone of doing work, all those things. But most of the time it's the segment itself, attraction. But of course, as you said, we do provide all those ESOPs and other things as a motivational factor. And there are many other things also we have in our list where the people are very happy with the environment and the culture that we have adopted. Yeah.
So coming on to that, like how COVID impacted the whole work culture and how you manage at that particular time, and like how's the condition like? You are still in a work from home mode, or there are like 50%, 60% team is in offline or something?
First of all, the COVID impacted us a lot, like any other business. There is no exception. We are also in the same country, same world, and same situation. It did affected a lot for us also, but we did not take that as a hit. Of course, there was a down in the business, a zero revenue, and all those stuffs. Mentally, it's like a very stressful situation, and all those difficult situation we also faced like any other business. But instead of cribbing on that, saying that okay, there is no business or there is no much activity, we did adopted that period as a learning phase. And so we gave a lot of learning, soft skill learnings or trainings and certification to all our employees, and employee connect virtually, and exchange our views and maybe brainstorm on some of the upcoming projects in within Hype. All those things we did, which was very useful. And to our surprise, post pandemic, the business got increased 10 times like anything. Because everybody was saying like post pandemic, maybe people will not, spend a lot of money because they might have lost their jobs and all. But it happened, they wanted to go and enjoy the world, and they wanted to spend more on more hygiene part. They did not mind spending money on their hygiene and comfort rather than going in a public transport and all. So that really helped us, to make a better version of ourselves, including all the employees in Hype during the COVID situation.
And
So what was
what's your
the second? Second?
what's your take on work from home? Like,
Okay, work
does it
from
increase the productivity, or did you get to uh, invent some innovative way? Because although work from home is a kind of luxury for also for employees, they get to spend a lot of time. Also, I mean, from the companies, from the founders' perspective, it also eliminate a lot of expenditure like of office
office space.
space,
Yes.
electricity, Wi-Fi, etc. So,
Yeah.
what's your take on that?
Like work from home was okay for certain extent. As you said, we did avoided so many expenses of office space and
Mm,
travel, commuting,
mm,
and everything. But recently, I think past 3 months, everybody wants to come to office, and everybody, because it's like virtually connecting. Of course, helps, but well, during some brainstorming sessions and the discussions that happens face to face is more effective and productive than sitting at home, especially in our sector, not like an IT job that you have a 6 months time to complete the job. You can do it either in the night or a day. It's not like that. So we found that all of our employees are also felt very convenient coming,
mm.
if not having a one place at one time. Like we work in any of the workplaces, like we take a seats over there and we all gather and we work. That we felt that that was very productive, and people are also okay to come there. So we have a kind of a hybrid model over there. If you want to work from home, you can home, but certain days you have to definitely come to the office.
Yes. So the next question is on the personal side. So running a company uh, puts you a lot of stress on you. I mean, when you are working in a corporate, you have a certain section to take care of,
Yes.
certain functional area to take care of. But in a business, sometimes you have to think about the marketing side, sometimes about the sales side, sometimes about the finance, and sometimes about the operation side. So, like, how you handle the stress? Any advice, like anything that you personally do to like keep the stress level maintained, and also running the company at a faster pace than previously has been?
Yeah. See, running a business is always a risk, always a stressful, especially when you are in a luxury segment. It is more than any other business. Of course, every business will have that stress and risk. But when it's like, think about like this, we have given a car of 2 crores, and the person has taken it for one day drive till he comes and returns back that car. You will not have sound sleep, right? You will be thinking
Yes,
what
yes, always.
wrong. Midnight, if some call comes, and you will think like what would have happened. It's all a question of the safety of the customer, safety of the car, and the trust
Mm,
that the vendors that they have got in us. All these things, it's not only on the car, but also on the employees and the service and the market and the competition that may pop up anytime in the market. We
mm,
have to keep an eagle eye on that. We have to do a lot of market research. And it's not that, okay, we are happy and settled in the business. We have to keep growing, and we have to think
mm,
innovative way, creative way, how we expand it. And when we're thinking about expanding globally, what are the challenges? All those things keep us awake, throughout a year, 24 bar 7, 360 to 5 days, I can say. It's always stressful, but it's not like a stress, but of course it's all the responsibility. But the one way is, as everybody says, to take care of your stress, and we take care of a lot of mental health for our employees as well. So that we always advise them to take a break and go out with the family and
mm,
enjoy the weekend at least. Do some meditations, yoga, and a regular exercise like any other normal people. We also suggest,
mm,
and we also follow that as far as possible.
mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great thing. I mean, you need to also, like, I personally believe if you are physically fit,
Yeah.
then you will also have a mental fitness also, because your whole body works like this. If you are physically fit, the you will think clearly, the blood runs smoothly, and things become easy for you. Also, like as you said, you handle a lot of things. So I also know that you have a co-founder. Your brother
Found.
himself is a co-founder. So can you tell me, like, how what is the importance of having co-founder, uh, like how you decided that you did that this I'm going to do, and this is the part I'm going to do.
Yeah, my brother is a founder. As I
Mm,
said, he's a serial entrepreneur, and he was
mm,
already having 2, 3 startups in
mm,
Switzerland. And we both of us came the same background of working in Accenture for almost 10 years, and then again in the same different IT companies. And I used to live in Bangalore, and he was in Switzerland and many other US and European countries. And being a younger brother, he's always close to me. And it's like his childhood passion. I've been observing from childhood, like he's always passionate about cars. And if you get him a new car, he used to break all the parts and fix it by himself. And it's otherwise he will not get sleep. He'll not play with the car like any other kid. He's always like do
Breaking
entire
it up
operation.
and
Break it and तोड़ दो फिर उसको बनाओ. So I had seen that, and and when he came back from Switzerland on that occasion, as I said, he wanted to start this business, and I always, from the childhood, I've been supporting him for all the the risk and the rebellious whatever decision he used to take. I was the only one, being a only sister. I used to pamper him and support him, and that made him to support in these areas, because I have a strong belief that he is the kind of person who can do anything that he wants to do. I've been observing that from his childhood, and because I had seen his previous startups as well. So I have got the strong belief that he will achieve anything. So that's made me to join him and support him, and as a family. And he's a founder, and I'm a co-founder. So what he does is he brings the business and he handles external affairs and everything. I manage people and internal controls and everything. So external and internal, we have bifurcated. It's not that I don't go into the external affairs. I do get involved myself with him, so that I should know the 360 degree of business, right? So it's like a mutual, but majorly he concentrate on business and I concentrate on people.
And my next question is that you might have heard about Shark Tank India. So what do you think? Like, what's your opinion on Shark Tank and how it's impacted the perspective of middle class? Because a lot of conversations started happening about startups in the middle class segments. It was not earlier there. Also, you may notice that there's a lot of hype about the startup culture in India also. So what do you think about Shark Tank? And
see what Shark Tank has made, you can only see that there is no interview, there is no session, there is no podcast without asking a question on Shark Tank. So it is really a good nationwide reality show that came into India. It was really required, because not all the people used to watch the US Shark Tank, but when it came to India, it was really a good in terms of giving visibility to the middle class or upper class, whoever it is, but it made it generalized, like, startup is not only for a selected segment of people, selected category of people. And the do's and don'ts and everything. People got a clarity on what is startup and what is funding, how it works, what are all the pain that they have to go through to get the funding and how to be successful, all those things. It was a good reality show, but still, plus part is that, and I don't say it as a negative part, but it's end of the day, the real actual angel investors are the investors. That's what I believe. But it gave a good opportunity for everybody to learn on the startup, and they brought that culture into India. That's a good part.
I personally hope also that because in Shark Tank also did a magic in US. As you said that in Shark Tank, I've also watched a lot of episodes of Shark Tank, and I was a fan of also many of the celebrities who were doing that. Yeah. So I think that impact will be positive, less impact would be of negative.
Yeah.
So now coming down to rapid fire round question, and in this questions I will be like asking two choices. You have to choose any of one. You don't have to explain why you choose it, but it will be rapid kind of round. Yeah. So may I start?
Yeah, please.
So Android or iOS?
iOS.
Funding or bootstrap?
Bootstrap.
Debt or equity?
Equity, obviously.
Fame or money?
Money.
Customization or standardization?
Customization.
Domestic market or international market?
Both. Yeah,
Okay.
it is
Now
required.
you have to choose. There's no both option.
No, because once you are stabilized in domestic, you have to expand internationally, which we have already done. So I'll say both. Yeah.
B2B or B2C?
Again, it's both. We cannot restrict ourselves. Yeah.
Profitability or scalability?
Scalability.
Scalability.
Yeah.
Small team or large team? I
Small.
think you have
But
you
it
mentioned in the interview itself that you prefer small team.
yeah,
So
yeah.
any book that you will suggest and which you read and personally impacted you about your view on the life? Any book that you want to
I
suggest?
don't read book. That's what I keep telling everybody. I'm not a good person. Read some book and implement it, but I keep listening and I take a lot of advice from my brother. He's always been like my mentor and a role model. And anything needed, I search in the Google. I don't have patience to read anything, but recently I started in developing a habit of reading my Bhagavad Gita, which I felt like in one of the case where I got that the feeling of you have my parents used to tell that for every problem there is a solution. You keep reading your own. It's not restricted to Bhagavad Gita. I'm saying in every religion
Yeah, sure.
they have
Specialty
got
need to be there.
yeah, it will be there. We keep ignoring, thinking that who will read that? It's all gyan and all those things. But it did help us a lot. You get some solution when you read that in terms of mindset, in terms of calmness, everything. But otherwise, I don't read any book as such. I'm not a good person, you can say, in that segment. I don't have that.
Recently I read an article on that. So uh, in mental you heard about IQ and EQ, and there's a SQ, like spiritual quotient.
Yeah.
And if you have developed your SQ, then the things like you will not be that stressful, and you will like connect with the higher purpose also.
Yes.
So that's kind of like peace feeling you will be getting if you have developed your spiritual quotient, and that will be developed if you follow the spiritual practices or something.
Yeah. My brother, on top of everything, he keeps saying that IQ is what. But I, on the other hand, I always believe in emotional intelligence. So it's like a way of connecting with your employees or a customer, a vendor, and give that confident or a comfort level with them, so that they will open up and they'll come to you in a good or a bad time. Both the time they need somebody to open up and explain their concerns or a happiness, right? So I believe in emotionally connecting with people, so that we have got a blend of both. My brother on that business part, having on the IQ, and me having on the EQ and SQ, or whatever you can say.
That's a complementary skill, I would say. Every founder will be looking for, if they want to have a co-founder, they will be looking for someone who can like replace their weakness, someone who can be there what they don't have, someone
What
who
they
has
don't.
something left. Yeah.
Exactly. So that completes your entire circle.
Yeah, entire circle.
Yeah.
So coming down to the final part, any final message to aspiring founders or someone who want to start something? And many people are in corporate and want to start something, but due to like they think that they have to like they have to raise the money before they start something. There's that thing there. So any final message on that particular side?
Yeah, I keep hearing the same question from everybody most of the time. Like, even on the social media also, people will think, ma'am, I want to start my business, but I don't have money. How do I get funding? So people start that, if you want to do something, immediately they think about funding and investment and other things, which we never did that. We started with our own pocket money. We started with our own money, and maybe, with the family, and, extended their support. Then first stop thinking about raising funding at the first step itself. That is a wrong bet, actually wrong mindset, to be honest. So what you have to think about, what you are going to achieve, what you are focusing on, what problem you are going to solve, what you are planning to give to the society or your country. And what if you don't do that? All those things, questions you have to ask yourself, and that you start in a very small way. Like, you need not have to, if you want to start a taxi business, you don't have to buy 100 taxi, right? You can take one on a loan or something. You start with that, and you can see many such examples in this travel agency as well, and including ourselves. We don't have any assets as such. That means we are not doing any business. We deal with private jets, yachts, and other things, and space. As I said, we don't own anything. So we don't need money for every business that you do on the day one itself, but think about what you're planning to do. Start in a very smaller scale. and but decide what you're going to do and how you're going to build and how that is going to help everything, then funding comes automatically.
Yes. Also, I want to put some input, like people do not want to put a money because for them, like putting money in a startup, and like there is a myth about that also, that putting their money, because they need to also look at the perspective that if an investor putting money in your startup, if you're still not putting the money, that is saying a lot about your startup.
Correct.
If you're not putting money in your own startup, why would someone else would put money in your startup?
Exactly. So you don't believe in yourself, why will others believe in you?
Yes.
That's why we almost all 3 years we did on our own, and we never felt. Many people used to ask us why you are not going to VCs, why you are not going to raise a funding and all. So we were comfortably, doing the business with our own money, and why will we take somebody else on top of our head and we have to listen to everybody? But when our own customers started saying that okay, they want to fund us and they want to invest in our companies, it's all our friends and family. Like most of us are our friends only, and our customers on top of it. So it's like you have to decide on the business. Risk will be there, obviously. It's no business will come without risk, and you just have to trust your ability and skills, and keep innovating things. And you should be ready to take risk, and you should not have a habit of giving it up. So it may fail once or twice or thrice, but fourth time you will definitely be successful if you are confident.
Yeah, that's the mindset need to be there. Anyway, Vijaya ma'am, thank you for being a part of Grow Junction podcast, and it was great. It was a great pleasure having you. I personally learned a lot. I hope that anyone who will be watching this podcast will be learning a lot from this, and it was very thankful of you to be a part of.
Thank you very much for giving this opportunity. I'm sure, a little bit of knowledge, whatever I have learned, in this business will be helpful for the budding entrepreneurs and, budding startup people. So definitely it will be helpful, I guess. Any one piece of information, if it helps, I'll be honored. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you, Vijay.
Thank you.